Hi, Patrick here, and welcome to Instant Customer TV. Today, we're going to talk about weight loss and fat loss, which is a problem for a lot of people, including myself. So today we have with us weight loss and fat loss expert, Steve Denby. How are you, Steve?
Oh, very good. Thank you. Yes, good to be here. Yeah.
Great to have you here. So we have a interesting segment today. We're going to ask a few questions and we're going to learn some great stuff. So I thought maybe what we could do is maybe start with what is a weight loss and fat loss expert, and maybe explain around that so we can introduce the topic.
Okay. Well, the most important thing to really get from this is because it's such a huge subject, and it's been surrounded by so much confusion. I'd like to really take away the confusion, and the biggest confusion is the difference between weight loss and fat loss. Now, everybody really what they want is fat loss, but they're conditioned around weight loss because we're all conditioned to check our well-being by what it says on the scales. But unfortunately, that's not it's not the big picture. So most people will get an understanding whether they're overweight or underweight by what's called the BMI, your body mass index. But this doesn't show you enough information, so it's a height-weight ratio that they're looking at. But really, you could be 5'10" and weigh 15 stone, okay? And you can be another person can be the same height, same weight, but one person has 25% body fat, and the other might be carrying 35% body fat, but they're the same weight. So I like to take the confusion away from that and focus, or help people to focus on losing fat and not weight, because you need your bones and muscle tissue and organs to function, right? And it's all part of your body weight, but you need less fat. So when you properly lose weight, it's important that you lose fat, but maintain your lean tissue for vital organ health as well. So really to take the confusion away and get people to understand that they want to lose fat. I mean, I can give you a very quick for instance. Only this morning I assessed somebody. They'd lost in an 8-week period. They lost 2.5% body fat. Their overall weight loss was 2 kilos. Overall weight loss was 2 kilos in 8 weeks. Now, when we rechecked their body fat, they'd actually lost 4 kilos of fat, but they'd gained 2 kilos of lean tissue because of the strength training we were doing. And it's those 2 kilos of lean muscle mass that's going to help them continue to lose fat, because the more lean tissue you have, the bigger the engine you have. And if you have a big engine, what does it need? It needs more fuel. And where does it get its fuel from? From fat. So that's the message.
That's great. I think that's a really refreshing viewpoint on the whole thing, and thank you for introducing. That's really interesting. So what can people well, why do people come to a weight loss expert or a fat loss expert?
Mainly, why? There's so many reasons. I mean, there's so many chronic illnesses associated with being overweight. We're talking diabetes is one major issue, especially in the UK right now. We have the highest amount of diabetics than ever before. We have chronic illnesses associated with this, ranging from pulmonary dysfunctions through to eczema, asthma problems, all related to carrying too much weight. Then we have the musculoskeletal issues, lower back problems and knee problems. Again, a lot of it has association with carrying too much weight. But most people come to me because they simply have low energy. They're finding that they're getting energy slumps in the middle of the afternoon where they didn't used to. Their mobility and their fitness is extremely poor, and they're generally struggling. And they've been yo-yo dieting as well. They lose a bit of weight over over a short period of time, and then they put it back on again. So I'm getting people that want to make lifestyle changes that are a little bit more permanent, and they're kind of fed up with going round and round in a circle, and they're disillusioned as well. They're disillusioned with exercise classes or regimes or fad exercises that don't work, or continuously going to the gym and having no results. So I'm attracting people that are stuck in a cycle, basically stuck in a cycle, doing the same thing over and over again, and really not getting anywhere.
Yeah, great. So there's a lot of people who come are stuck in some ways when it comes to maybe their energy or their weight, or they might have an illness or some kind, and by doing the proper program, it helps them, and you help them facilitate and create results with them. So I'm on the right track on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody is an individual. This is important as well. There is no first of all, there's no magic pill, right? There's no quick solution. Everybody is an individual, so their genetic makeup is different. So I help them take the guesswork out of their exercise regime and their nutrition plan. Just very briefly, I mean, can you imagine if, for example, an extreme example, let's say an Eskimo came to see me, right, and said, look, I'm really struggling, I'm overweight, and I looked at his plan, his diet plan, and he was eating huge amounts of fat. I'd say, but then let's say he was living in this country, but he started to eat more processed food. He started to eat more cereal and breads, and maybe even started to eat vegetables and fruit. But I'd say, hey, you're an Eskimo. You should be eating whale blubber and cold water fish. So you've got to eat what's right for your genetic makeup as well. Because I think many people think, okay, weight loss is about complete restriction of calories and eating low-fat foods, and it's not. It really isn't. If you're designed to eat more fat, you need to eat more fat. And in fact, most people do need to eat more fat. They're not getting enough essential fats. So I take the guesswork out and individualize their regime. And I don't put people on diets either, or calorie counting or systems. It's a way of life that you can slot into everyday life. Because it doesn't work if you think you're being restricted. Oh, I'm on a diet. Sorry, I can't have that. Sorry, I can't have that. It doesn't work. It's just short term. So you've got to look forward to the bigger picture. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Not, oh, I need to get in shape for a wedding or to go on holiday. Look beyond that. Where do you want to be next year, the year after? Let's build this into the way you are over time, rather than just doing something frantically for a short period of time.
No, I like that. That's really, really good. I mean, it's better to, and there's a lot of people, and me included, who've done those fast diets, and yes, you might lose weight fast, but you also gain weight fast again afterwards. So I can totally appreciate to have that long-term view and thinking around that. That's really, really cool. So what can people expect from a weight loss program or a fat loss program, the way you see it?
Well, as I say, I make it an individual journey. I mean, I do look after small groups as well, but let's say the individual's coming to me. I look at their lifestyle, I break it down into categories of what they're eating, when they're eating it. I look at what's happening with their digestion, their sleep cycles, and their stress levels as well. And I also look at their toxicity score. So if people are showing signs of fatigue, signs of poor digestion, they're for example getting mood swings, or they're getting muscle aches and joint aches, then I look at the digestive system first, because if you're not converting food into fuel efficiently, then, or you're not absorbing nutrients from the food you're eating, then you're just going to go round in circles. So the first place I go is, are you breaking down food properly? Are you having regular bowel movements? You know, I actually, you know, I talk about what comes out of this end. You know, it's important. So we get to the real truth about their health through their habits of basically they're going to the toilet and and what happens. You know, is it regular and what does it consist of? So we look at that. I also look at stress and look at emotional stress and physical stress. Again, very important. People can lose weight when they're highly stressed, but they lose it over a short period of time and to the detriment of their body. They often lose a lot of water and a lot of lean muscle mass, and also put stress on their organs. So I don't recommend stress for weight loss, and certainly not for the long term. In fact, over a longer period of time, stress has completely the opposite effect. You cannot have sustained, gradual fat loss if you are stressed. And I'm talking about not just from work, but maybe from family or friends, emotional stress as well as mental stress. The brain doesn't distinguish the two. In fact, it doesn't really know whether the difference between whether you can pay for a bill that comes through the door or your best friend is having problems. For you, it's still stress, and our body goes into what's called a fight or flight system. And when that happens, basically, the body thinks, "Oh, there's a problem. You need to hide or run away, or there's a saber-toothed tiger chasing you." And the body produces more stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, to help you run away or to hide or to react quickly to the problem. But there is no saber-toothed tiger. This is the problem. There isn't one. But these stress hormones suppress the immune system. And when your immune system is suppressed, again, we struggle to use fat as fuel. Why? Because it's needed for survival. So our body goes into this temporary survival mode. Imagine that being repeated over and over again, chronically, week in, week out. So I help people learn how to cope with stress and how to it's not ignoring your issues. It's actually going full facing into them, going into the fear and releasing the fear. So if you have issues, don't hide away, because they're always there, and they underpin everything, and they're trickling away like a meandering river. They're always there. So go into the issue, deal with it, and learn how to drop the stress, learn how to stay calmer. And I have many techniques to help people with that, not just psychologically, but also interlinking with the body and going into pressure points on the body as well.
That's great. I think that's a really good way to look at it, and this is the first time I hear someone who's in the fitness and weight loss and etc. to talk about this more as a holistic approach, which you seem to have really taken the most major elements that is beyond what most people think weight loss is about. It's very interesting, very interesting. So with that in mind, what are maybe 3-4 things you think can help our audience to choose the best weight loss program for them, or maybe better wording would be fat loss program for them?
Okay, three important things. My goodness. Okay, I would. It's hydration for a start. Hydrate your body. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Plenty of water. As a rough guideline, roughly 2 liters a day, but it depends on their body weight. The heavier they are, the more water they need. Look at your sleep cycles. Try and get to bed a couple of times earlier, around about 10:30 every week, at least 1 or 2, so you get a full night's sleep and recover. So recovery is really important. Look at the way that you cope with stress, okay? And don't get hung up about food and your actual weight. So if you are overweight, go easier on yourself. Don't give yourself a hard time. Look at your language that you speak to yourself. Don't call yourself fat and ugly. Focus on the idea of being healthy and strong, and your body will respond. Your mind will respond far better in that way, and rather than constantly hearing the same thing. So look at your own body language, and your own self-talk is really important. And then you notice, I haven't even talked about food, but obviously eating fresh, eating whole foods, steering away from diet foods that are full of chemicals, toxins, flavorings, emulsifiers, false sugars. Yeah, eat real food, real whole food. If you don't recognize it, don't eat it. If it wasn't around about 50, 60 years ago, don't eat it. The diet industry is a trap. I'm afraid it's full of traps. So eat plenty of fresh food and whole foods.
Cool. I think that's great advice. So no Diet Cokes then.
Yeah, no diet. Oh my goodness, no, not that poison, please, no. Don't get me started on that.
Okay, cool. Now, well, so just to summarize, so what I hear, like four things, and you gave some great advice there, but and I appreciate that, and I think it's really going to help people watching. So let's say someone is now here and they're watching this and they want to take action and they want to, they want to look for a program for them. Then I think and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically what you're saying also is that don't just look at a program where that might look very easy, and you take those protein shakes 2 times a day, and then you eat the dinner at night time, and that way you'll lose weight. But you're talking about look for a program that has more elements and components to it, because to have a long-term health and a long-term weight loss, you really need to look at, like some of the things you talked about, which is make sure the programs look at your stress, sleeping patterns, and other things. Am I on the right track with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can actually get a vitality score by going onto my website, and you can get a free assessment, which takes you through these systems, and I will actually give you a personal email back from that, so you can take part in that. But you've got to look at more of like you say, a holistic approach. Look at the lifestyle around you. Look at your sleep. Look at your rest periods. Look at your digestive health. It's not just about restricting calories, diet food, or eating like you say, 1 shake and 1 meal a day, and then going for long run or going for long periods of exercise. It's not just about that. In fact, talking of exercise, you're actually going to get more effect by keeping your exercise bouts shorter but more regular, and more intense intervals with rest periods, rather than going for long periods. However, if you enjoy a long walk and a long cycle, then that's different, because you're doing it for enjoyment, and that's good. That's good for the mind, the body, and the soul, to be out in the fresh air. This is good stuff. But if you're focusing on specifically fat loss, you need to keep these workouts short and intense. Okay.
That's great. That's really good advice. And I know you touched on it, so maybe we can go a little bit more in here. But what is your approach to? Because you've been really successful. You facilitated and created great results with your clients and the people you've been working with. So what is your approach, or that makes you unique and be able to facilitate these amazing results?
Because I look at the individual. It really is as simple as that. It's not a blanket solution. You take a regime from a magazine. It may work for some, but not for others. It's like one diet doesn't fit all. If you remember that the Atkins diet was all about high protein and fat intake. Well, that actually only works for 30% of the population of this country. 30. That's 70% that it really doesn't work for, and for good reason. So what I guess what makes me unique is the holistic approach, looking at the emotions and looking at the stress levels in people's lives as, on top of their lifestyle choices of food and movement and exercise.
That's great. That's really, really good. Very interesting as well. So people are watching now, and they might feel they're in that space, or they're frustrated. They want to do something about their weight, or they might be fatigued and tired, and they want to increase their energy, or they might even have some illness that's holding them back, and through fitness might help them relieve some things, or at least live better life. Is there anything for those people who want to take action, they want to do something? Is there something special that you want to do for them who's watching and viewing now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think mentioned briefly, they can get a vitality score. Yeah, so they can fill out or just go online, click wellness assessment, and then in they go and put in their details, and I will link them to a system in my website where they can answer some questions, and then they'll get back a very real summary of what's going on and where they need more focus. Yeah, more focus.
Great, that's really good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. A great example would be somebody that's, let's say we take somebody that's overweight and they've been yo-yo dieting for years. They're frustrated. They are probably not very happy with the way they look. They're probably angry as well and emotionally just drained. So really, do you really think that a calorie-restricted diet and a very intense exercise regime is going to help them? No, we've got to go deeper into their emotions and help rebuild who they are as a person within. Because what you see is just an exterior, it's just what's happened. But really, within, they're a human being, and that human being needs nurturing and needs purpose back on this planet. So having that person feel good about themselves from within is far more powerful. Most people think that they're going to become a better person when they lose weight. No, you're a good person now. Focus on that now, and the weight loss will speed up. Weight loss is a byproduct of feeling good about yourself, not the other way around.
Very interesting. That's very interesting. And I think it's a great offer that you're giving people. And I really like what you said there, that weight loss is a byproduct from feeling good about yourself and not the other way around. That's really is a great approach. And people that are watching right now, if you're watching right now and you know that you want to go to that next step, you want to transform your fitness, your health, and your life, then you got the website address here to contact Steve and get that assessment that he's allowing you to have, and for free. When I think it's normally a value of, I think, about £20, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, $19.99 is the value of the actual assessment, the information you receive. Yeah.
Great. And this assessment is something that you also personally overlook as well. It's not just a computerized thing.
Yeah, you will get a computerized graph and answer with the score, and you can clearly see the areas which you need to work on. But I will personally look at that questionnaire and email you back with a summary. So I will be looking in between the lines and looking at the questionnaires as well, and you'll get a summary from me as well with some recommendations.
That's great. That's really cool. Really appreciate that. So if you're watching right now, go to the website, get your assessment, see where you're at with your health, stress levels, toxicity, and you can get the best advice and help from the weight loss and fat loss expert, Steve Denby. So Steve, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.